To learn more about the Alabama Education Lab and receive notifications about stories and events, sign up for its newsletter, EdChat. A topic that has flared up across the country came unannounced in Alabama, where leaders have been quietly discussing how to approach teaching race and racism in K-12 public schools. At a Thursday work session, Alabama State Board of Education members discussed a potential resolution declaring the preservation of intellectual freedom in Alabama public schools and critiqued the concept of critical race theory, an academic framework more than 40 years old that describes racism as not merely the product of individual bias or prejudice, but also as a social construct embedded in American society. According to Chalkbeat, 21 states this year have considered legislation and policy to restrict discussions of racism and bias in the classroom, but Alabama was not yet one of them. State Superintendent Eric Mackey said he met Wednesday with Governor Kay Ivey, who is up for re-election in 2022, about fears of critical race theory being taught in Alabama's schools. Mackey said he has heard from all board members about whether Alabama should take a position in the national debate. "We want to make a clear statement about what we believe," Mackey told board members. "At the same time, we want to be cautious that we don't get in a place where we end up in a First Amendment lawsuit if a teacher sets up a debate and has two sides of an issue or something like that." The first resolution presented to the board was a copy of the Georgia Board of Education's anti-CRT resolution, approved last week. The second draft, which Mackey said he had worked with Ivey's education policy advisor to write, includes the statement, "The Alabama State Board of Education believes the United States of America is not an inherently racist county, and that the state of Alabama is not an inherently racist state." Another section of the draft resolution states that no individual, by virtue of his or her race or sex, is inherently racist, sexist or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously. The resolution would also prohibit the teaching of concepts that impute fault, blame, a tendency to oppress others or the need to feel guilt or anguish to persons solely because of their race or sex in public schools. It was not included on the board's previously published agenda nor on the agenda made available at the work session. It's unclear if the resolution bans or otherwise restricts anything teachers are currently teaching. Read more. Attorney General Steve Marshall criticizes federal guidelines promoting 1619. Project board member Tracy West said she has heard from constituents in her district, which covers portions of East and South Alabama, who are concerned about critical race theory being taught in Alabama schools. She and board member Stephanie Bell said people contacting her are concerned about critical race theory dividing children against each other.